All right, hey everyone, welcome back. Ready for another deep dive?
Absolutely. Let's get into it.
Today, we're tackling something I think we all wrestle with, at least from time to time. Where do we place our hope?
Yeah.
Especially in a world that, let's be honest, feels kind of shaky sometimes, right?
Yeah, no doubt.
We're bombarded with news about, governments doing this, economies doing that. It's easy to get swept up in it all.
It is.
And that got me thinking about those things we often look to as like anchors.
Yeah.
A stable government, a good job, maybe just a general sense that society's got things figured out.
Right.
But, and this is where the deep dive gets interesting, what happens when those anchors start to feel less anchored?
Interesting way to put it.
Well, one of the sources we're looking at today uses this powerful image of a sinking world
Hmm.
to describe what happens when we put our faith in things that, well,
Much upheaval lately. Government's changing, economies going up and down like a roller coaster, and even, careers that people thought were rock solid suddenly disappearing.
it's true. Makes you wonder, right? What happens when we put all our eggs in those baskets? What's the risk? I mean, is it really that bad to hope for a comfortable life or a successful career?
Well, think of it this way. Imagine you're building a house, right? You wouldn't build it on a foundation that's constantly shifting and moving.
Makes sense.
That's kind of what we're doing when we pin all our hopes on things that are inherently temporary. A government can change, an economy can tank, a job can disappear.
So you're saying,
I'm saying when those things inevitably shift or let us down, it can feel like our whole world is crumbling.
yeah,
You can end up feeling lost, disappointed, even hopeless. Like, what was it all for?
I've been there. It's that sinking feeling, like when you realize the ground you thought was solid.
Yeah.
And the source we're looking at, it also talks about this idea that as humans, we have limitations. Our strength, our
Yeah.
wisdom, even our resources, they all have their limits. So if we can't fully rely on the world, and we can't even fully rely on ourselves, where do we turn? What's the alternative?
Well, that's where the source introduces a pretty powerful concept. It talks about clinging to Christ, the solid rock.
Okay, got to be honest. The idea of clinging to a rock for hope is a little, that's a little tough for me to wrap my head around.
I get it. It's definitely a metaphor, right?
Right.
But I think what the source is getting at is this. True hope isn't about grabbing onto things that are going to change or disappear. It's about finding something solid, unchanging, a foundation that can support you no matter what.
So we're talking about something bigger than ourselves.
Exactly. Something, or rather someone who transcends all the ups and downs, all the uncertainties of life. Someone who doesn't change with the wind.
Okay, so I'm hearing you, but does that mean we just ignore our responsibilities? Become passive, just like sit around waiting for this rock to take care of everything?
No, not at all. It's more about grounding ourselves, finding our center, our security in something much deeper. It's about having a foundation that lets us face challenges with courage and hope,
I like that.
because we know we're not alone.
So it's not about being passive, it's about having a different kind of strength.
You got it.
Okay, makes sense. And the source, it actually describes this rock, this Christ, as having some pretty powerful qualities like omnipotence
Yeah, unlimited power.
and immutable love.
Unchanging love.
Wow. And this isn't just, theological jargon, right? We're talking about qualities that can actually practically impact someone's life.
Absolutely.
I mean, think about it. Knowing you're loved unconditionally no matter what, that's a game changer.
It is. It frees you from that pressure of having to earn love, to prove yourself. You can face challenges with a different kind of confidence.
And this source, it goes even further, saying that nothing, not trouble, hardship, or even death, can separate us from this love. That's a pretty bold statement. What kind of impact can a promise like that have on a person?
Well, just imagine the weight off your shoulders, knowing that no matter what happens, you're not alone, you're loved, you're held. That can change how you approach everything.
That's powerful. But for someone who spent their life finding hope in more, tangible things, how do they even start to shift that focus?
It's a process, for sure, but I think it starts with simply acknowledging that there might be a different kind of hope out there, one that's not about clinging to things that are going to fade away.
Okay.
It's about connecting with something much deeper, more lasting. And, building a relationship with God, letting his love and strength be that foundation.
Sure.
Trusting that even when everything else feels uncertain, his love is constant.
So it's not about throwing away everything we thought we knew. It's about exploring something new.
Exactly. It's a journey. Discovering a different kind of hope, one that doesn't depend on external circumstances, but comes from something much deeper within.
Wow. This has been quite the deep dive. We've talked about this sinking world, the risks of putting our hope in things that are ultimately fleeting. But we've also explored this idea of a more enduring hope, a hope anchored in something beyond ourselves.
And it leaves us with a question, something to think about as we go about our day.
Hit us with it.
If you had to describe your own anchor of hope, what would it be and why?
Ooh, good one. That's something we can all ponder. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive, everyone. And keep exploring, keep seeking, keep those conversations going. Until next time.
See you then.